What's up, everyone? It is your host, Ghost, coming to you live with another wonderful video. How's everyone doing today? I'm running a little slow this morning, per usual. Nothing new, right? Oh, man. Woke up exhausted this morning. It's been a while since that's happened, honestly. So, I don't know. Oh, all right. Today's topics are Daily Wire infighting. Mom and dad are fighting. Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro. Facts don't care about your feelings, guys. All up in his feelings. And Candace Owens is probably out of a job. They've had a very public spat between the two of them. I believe over Candace's opinions over the Israeli-Hamas conflict. And I've said it before. When it comes to Israel, Ben is a fucking zealot over it. Like, Israel does everything good and can never do anything bad. That's Ben Shapiro right there. And Ben is very upset. I don't know. Well, I guess over her opinions over the Israeli conflict. But anyways, there's been a very public spat. We'll read the tweets and be very confused by what's going on here. But yeah, that's what's going on. All right. And then there was a riot insurrection at the Democratic National Convention. Not really. But, I'm just saying that in tongue in cheek. But we will watch the craziness that was going on at the DNC headquarters. And Biden's dumb on guns. I know, shocking. But he continues to show how much of a retard he is. So I'm just pausing all these things. Hopefully they're not in the background. But yeah, Biden's down on guns. I know, nothing new here, really. And then there's nearly a fight on the Senate floor between Senator Mullen and what's the word? And that O'Brien. I honestly don't know why it was about. So we'll listen to it. And see, maybe we can suss it out. While I listen to it, we'll probably pull up an article, see if there's anything about it. Apparently, there was some ghost buses filled with FBI informants dressed as Trump supporters on January 6th. And while asking the question about it, the GOP chair cut off the person asking. Mr. Higgs's cut him off. So we'll watch that clip, and then continuing on with the FBI. FBI Director Ray Way says terrorist suspects crossing U.S. border. It's not his problem. That's what he thinks. Shocking. Vivek continues his feud with Roanna McDaniel and continues to call for her to resign. I think she's the head of the chairperson of the GOP or the whatever it's called. Like the chairperson of the GOP, like the convention, GOP, the Republican convention. I think I could be wrong. I'm only human. And then we got a poll, Fox News latest poll on Trump, and we'll check that out. So that's the plan for the day. Before sorry, I'm so fucking tired. Before, make sure you give me a follow at official W Ghost. Follow me here on Rumble. If you're watching on Rumble or come from YouTube, come over to Rumble, rumble.com/withghost. And then obviously my gaming channel, rumble.com/gaming with Ghost. I believe I do have the new Naruto game. I'll be playing that. So check me out there. And then check out Coffee Brand Coffee. It's the coffee I'm currently drinking. It is delicious. You got a variety of different flavors, all good, I assume. The two I've had, dark roast and French toast, are extremely good. French toast is by far my favorite so far. If you don't like coffee, there are various teas and hot chocolate, and there are also snacks, mostly nuts, but some saltwater taffy. So check out Coffee Brand Coffee. My referral link and coupon code are in the description. So check those out. Use them. 5% off. If you subscribe, you get 10% off on your orders on coffee at Coffee Brand Coffee. So yeah, make sure you use our referral link. All right, let's get into it. So, as far as I'm aware, it's kind of how it really started. Candace Owens tweeted, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manners of evil against you falsely for my sakes. No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money." So she tweeted this. Well, I guess it started a little earlier than that, because was it a couple days ago or something like that? Ben Shapiro was caught on video and bashing Candace Owens, calling her unsophisticated. Or no, faux sophistication. She says she has faux sophistication. So that went viral. I covered that as well. And apparently it's keeps going. So Candace Owens tweets this out. And I guess the thinking was she was trying to call for peace. And then Ben Shapiro decided that, oh God, you can't say this. So I'm going to tweet you back. "Candace, if you feel that taking money from the Daily Wire comes between you and God, by all means, quit." Okay. And then Candace Owens tweets back, "You have been acting unprofessional and emotionally unhinged for weeks now, and we have all had to sit back and allow it, and all tried to access exceeding understanding for your raw emotion. But you cross the line when you come for scripture and read yourself into it. I will not tolerate it." So that's basically the spat. Hold on. Okay, hold on. So there we go. So here's a Tucker Carlson video. She did an interview with Tucker Carlson yesterday, where she talked about the issue, apparently, according to the timestamps. So we will check that out. We're not going to watch the full interview. We're just going to watch the portion between Ben Shapiro and her.
And commanded him to person a racist
Putin puppet. It's because they don't actually believe what they're saying. It's just these are ad hominem attacks to dissuade from having an actual debate in the world. And when we're living in an environment where there is a lot, it's because they
usually tell. And speaking of, so I was out of the country yesterday, and didn't have adequate internet access on the plane to really follow this. And I don't understand the context exactly, but the internet was dominated yesterday by video of Ben Shapiro, who you work with at the Daily Wire. I think it's fair to say attacking you. Here's the video. I just want to get your reaction.
Oh yeah, here's the video. Sweet.
Yes, the question is about Candace Owens. I think her behavior during this has been disgraceful. Without a doubt. I think she's been absolutely disgraceful. I think that her faux sophistication on these particular issues has been ridiculous. It's not about sophistication, it's ridiculous. Everybody can see the moves that she's making and the things that she's saying, and I find them disreputable.
So maybe there's a point in the video where he explains what exactly you did wrong, how you were wrong. I haven't seen it. But to call
I haven't seen it either.
quote absolutely disgraceful, particularly a coworker, seems like a pretty big step. What and I really don't know the background here. What is that about?
You know, there isn't much of a background. I saw the video when everybody else saw it when I woke up.
No one warned you about it.
Nobody warned me about it. It looks like maybe he didn't know he was being recorded. It looks like
Yes.
it was some sort of a private event. I got no clarity on the issue that he was particularly speaking on, and in what was said, I can't respond to it beyond what he's saying because it's just ad hominem attacks. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's not, we
specifically-
disagree, or
Yeah.
I don't think she's correct, or maybe she doesn't know what she's talking about. It's absolutely disgraceful.
Exactly. And so I can't respond to it on a level of intellect because there's nothing that he has expressed in that, at least in that short clip, that he fundamentally disagrees with in terms of what I said. But I will say that I'm not going to respond with the same ad hominem attacks.
Yes.
I don't think it helps further discussion. And if that was me that was caught on a video saying that about colleagues that I work with, I would be embarrassed. So I think that the video speaks more to Ben's character than it speaks to mine.
Does he text you to apologize or explain or anything?
No, nothing. I haven't heard a single word. It just was sort of something that he said. And you know what? Ben and I have many disagreements, so I don't think that that's particularly something that's interesting. We disagreed on the COVID vaccine. We disagreed on Ukraine and Russia. He has taken virtually every stance that has been the opposite of mine on every issue over the last 5 years. So I don't think that that's
On the
particularly
COVID
remarkable.
vaccine. Really, I didn't remember that.
Yeah, he was pro the COVID vaccine. I was anti the vaccine. You know, we were all idiots for not getting the vaccine. So that's totally fine. I am totally open to people having a difference in opinion.
Right.
I would hope that amongst colleagues that it would always be a civil disagreement. And I would never in a private event stand on a table and talk badly about Ben.
It's
I
just
would
a little
say-
weird. It's a little weird. So he was on the left on those three biggest issues of our time, is what you're saying?
He has converted his opinions. He's accepted responsibility. He said, I was wrong about the vaccine.
Oh, good. Good for him.
He is, obviously pro pharma. His mom's a doctor. And I say to people, I'm very aware of my perspectives on big pharma, and I talk about it on my show openly. And I think that that's a tremendous credit to the Daily Wire that they allow a difference of opinions. But I as I said, hope that it would remain respectful and that you wouldn't throw your colleagues under a bus, so to speak.
I think
in a
that, I
private setting.
think that's fair. And just for clarity, because I really don't know, is he your boss? Does he?
I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about Ben's involvement. He's not the CEO of the Daily Wire. He is not making the day-to-day decisions at the Daily Wire. And I do want to make it very clear because people are like, how could you possibly stay at Daily Wire after this? I have a very good relationship with the co-CEOs of the Daily Wire. Especially right now, the acting CEO is Caleb Robinson. He's a wonderful person. He's worked very hard to be where he's at. We have a lot in common that we connect on. And so people don't get to see that, which is unfortunate. Ben lives in Florida. He's not a part of the day-to-day movement of the Daily Wire. The rest of the hosts have their shows situated in Nashville. So we see each other every day. We talk. There's great camaraderie. And there's actually more agreement. There's actually a lot of people that are, as I describe myself, just pro-America first. And I think I've been that way consistently throughout my political career. Whether people agree with it or not in different moments is up for debate. But I don't want that video to become a reflection of how the Daily Wire works and the Daily Wire operates, because I have had a very good experience with the CEOs and, love Michael Knowles, love Matt Walsh, Andrew Klavan. We all get along really great.
Well, it certainly speaks well of the Daily Wire then. So it's not, a clip like that on the internet, Candace Owens is out or something. That's doesn't sound like that's what it means.
Yeah, no, it's a small group of people. We see each other every day.
Right.
Brett Cooper is another one who just joined about 2 years ago. She's great. She's up and coming. And there's a lot of stuff that we're working on. And that's why I think this video is even more unfortunate, because people see him as a figurehead, rightfully so, of the Daily Wire. And it allows people to, speak energy into the Daily Wire that isn't necessarily there because he's not there on a day-to-day basis.
Okay, that's very interesting. So if we could take 3 steps back and give us the context for this debate, how are you on different sides of it? I haven't heard you endorsing Hamas, like you're not. No.
Well, I have not endorsed Hamas in any way, and yet people have interpreted things that I say, or actually rather things that I don't say. It's becoming very much reminiscent to me, and why I have used my platform to say this, of Black Lives Matter, where if you don't say anything, they say your silence is violence. If you say something and it's even-handed and it's nuanced, which is to say, during the times of Black Lives Matter, you might say, I don't support police brutality. Who does? I don't support racism. Who does? But also, I think that police are a crucial part of every city. We need to have
Of course.
policing in cities, so these calls to defund the police are immoral and wrong and are going to lead to more Black deaths. People didn't want that nuance. When Black Lives following George Floyd, there was no nuance. You had to explicitly say defund the police. You had to post a Black square. If you didn't post a Black square on Instagram, by the way, specifically on the platform Instagram, and you maybe were busy that day, maybe you were in another country, maybe you just didn't log on to Instagram, you were accused of being a racist. I'm seeing a lot of that behavior right now when it comes to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, a conflict that I have seen every single person, including myself, condemn what happened on October 7th. Because who wouldn't condemn terrorism? It's obvious.
Right.
Who would not condemn innocent Israelis dying? But if you then say that it is also sad when an innocent Palestinian child dies, suddenly this is pro-Hamas, or you need to say, even when you're talking about how sad it is that a child dies, you need to button that statement by saying, but that child was a human shield. That's not going to be my response. First off, as a mother, that's not going to be my response as somebody who is about to give birth. When I see these images of children
Yes.
involved on both sides of the conflict, I've pointed to the people that are mocking dead Israeli children and said that they are horrific. I am even keel on this matter, and yet people think that you need to be extreme. So people that have become more radical and extreme are perceiving a moderate stance as not enough. And
Because I was about to say, you don't. People can disagree with you or agree with you or whatever, but you certainly don't seem radical on this topic.
I'm definitively not radical. My stance has not changed in terms of whether or not America should be involved in this conflict. Whether we were talking about Afghanistan, my comments have been clear. They've been documented for years. Whether we are talking about Ukraine and Russia, my comments have been clear and they have been documented. I mean, you can go back to me even talking about NATO expansion before things erupted between Russia and Ukraine,
Yeah.
and having a meaningful discussion about how much expansion is too much expansion. How would we feel if we had troops on our border? These are things that should be allowed in an academic discussion. You should be able to sit on stage and should be able to debate these ideas without using ad hominem attacks to say that you're a pro-Putin puppet or you're pro-terrorism, even in the aftermath of 9/11, something that we all remember as part of my childhood. I think I was in 7th grade at the time.
Okay, it's kind of getting on a tangent at this point. So yeah. So there you have it. Yeah, like I said before, Ben Shapiro's a zealot when it comes to Israel. If you say anything not pro-Israel, he just goes off and goes insane about it. It's interesting. I always thought Ben Shapiro was like a founder and like a heavily invested in a heavy investor in the in the Daily Wire. So maybe, I don't know, maybe he's not as big as I thought he was. Sorry, mind going. But yeah, this whole thing is kind of crazy. It's kind of funny, honestly. Maybe I just like the chaos, but it's funny and crazy at the same time. Yeah. I really got no words. I kind of said everything I needed to say about it, but it's just funny as hell. Like Ben's like, just facts don't care about his feelings. The dude's in his feels all the time, and I have to agree with Candace Owens. You can be, I'm the same way. I think October 7th was a horrible thing that happened. Shouldn't happen. And it could, I condemn those terrorists, but I also don't approve of the death of Palestinian children. I don't approve of cutting off the water supply, electricity, fuel, etc. to Gaza. While I did agree that it was a sound tactical decision, I did not agree with it. But yeah, it's always like this. You can't be reasonable in you got to be like one side or another in some of these events. You have to be 100% on Israel's side, or you're 100% on Hamas side, basically, which is ridiculous in all honesty. But what can you do? Sorry. But yeah, it's just insane how unhinged Shapiro can be, especially when it comes to Israel or anything against it. I've tried to be pretty even on my show about it. Hopefully, I've achieved that. I don't watch the Daily Water. I used to watch Ben Shapiro. I liked watching Candace Owens when she did those talks. So also Ben Shapiro, watching him do those those speeches and dismantling college students. It's always entertaining. But it is kind of funny. In all honesty, but I haven't watched a Daily Wire show in like forever. So, anyways, let's move on. We've been on this for enough. Oh, my fucking leg's killing me. All right. So speaking of Israel and Hamas and all that stuff, a riot has occurred at the DNC, the Democratic National Convention headquarters. Excuse me. So let's check this out. So they got their arms all linked, and their police are like yanking on them to try and get them out of the way. They're currently blocking the entrance. I mean, seems like a very easy thing to deal with.
Oh shit! Someone got thrown. People getting thrown down the stairs.
Oh shit! They're getting thrown down the stairs. We're doing a riot, but people are getting thrown down the stairs. Dude, simple. Pepper spray these fuckers. I mean, in all honesty, it's kind of simple to do. You throw some pepper spray, throw some tear gas. They kind of end up dispersing on their own. Why are you yanking on people with their arms? Like, no, this is just dumb. They just need to like toss some pepper spray, throw some tear gas, and they'll dissipate, and they'll get like some they'll have some tears and some snot flowing, but they're going to be relatively unharmed. That'd be a lot safer than yanking on a bunch of people and trying to pull them off each other, and then and by some stairs, by the way. So this is very poor tactics on the behalf of the U.S. Capitol Police, and of course they don't want to do the pepper spray or tear gas because that'll look bad. Let's be honest, that's why they don't want to do it. But I'd say, fuck it, do it anyways, because I would love to watch this. All right, here's another clip of the same incident.
Outside the Democratic Party headquarters because this party claims to be on the side of life.
Oh yeah, this is kind of funny. This is happening to the DNC. And because what the DNC, what they're really about is kind of being shown. They don't give two shits about anything. They just want your vote.
Peace and equality, and we're saying that we want them to live up to their values and oppose this horrific war and call for a ceasefire now. And we're being responded to by the police shoving anti-war activists down the stairs.
Yeah, well, you're also you're not being peaceful about it. You're storming the DNC, apparently. You're blocking the entrance. You're being disruptive. I mean, you're not being very peaceful about it. It's not like you're like standing there saying no war, whatever. Also, I find it really hilarious when protesters protest shit in places about when it comes to places like these, like really like heated protests and angry protests. Not in the areas that it's happening. Like this would be smart to do like in Israel. But this is, like seriously, what? Oh, look. The Democrats are out of everyone not going to oppose Israel. Let's be honest. They're all 100% pro-Israel. So is all politicians, but mostly Democrats are all pro-Israel pretty much, except a few. So yeah, they're not going to do anything. They're not going to call for a ceasefire. unless it's Israel who's getting their asses kicked, then they'll call for a ceasefire. But this protesting at the DNC, they're not going to do anything. Like, this doesn't accomplish anything except maybe get your name on the news. But the DNC, they're like, there's no amount of bad media you can put on the DNC that they're not going to continue to support Israel. So this really accomplishes nothing. And then you go to the violent means where you have to be pulled off instead of just dispersing peacefully. That would make you guys look even better. Like, you're anti-war, but you're going with violence or passive aggressiveness or whatever it's fucking called to accomplish your means. It's kind of funny.
Shoving peaceful protesters back with their bikes and
Not that peaceful. It's a riot. This is not a riot. This is not a riot. I'm being tongue in cheek. This isn't a riot, but they're not that peaceful. If you're storming a building, you're not that peaceful. Oh, let me rephrase that. If you're storming a building that you have not been invited into, then you're not that peaceful.
because our party that 80% of us want a ceasefire, would rather beat up protesters.
Hold on. Should we continue? One second.
Inside the Democratic
This is just funny. These fucking people. They just look insane. Like, really, that's all they really accomplished. How insane they look. They haven't helped their cause. They just look like idiots and insane. I mean, everyone's just laughing at these people. Let's keep it. Let's be honest. Everyone's just laughing at you fuckers. You do this, and there's nothing you're really accomplishing except making yourself look like a fool. It is what it is. I could care less, honestly. Do you? But it's a problem with the protests these days. They're more about getting attention and less about the message. And they end up doing it in poor means. Like, a lot of times they're blocking streets, backing up traffic, and all you end up doing is making people hate you, and whatever cause you purport, no matter how righteous it may be, people are just going to be like, oh, fuck you. You blocked traffic, prevented me from going to work or getting home. Whatever you want, I am totally against. That's what it really ends up being. These people are like, it's like, okay, you're peaceful, then just stand peacefully. Okay. When police say, back off, turn away, then you guys just back off a certain distance and then you keep protesting. You don't have to block the entrance of the DNC. That doesn't accomplish anything. Just makes you look crazy. All right, moving on. Biden is dumb on guns. I know it's shocking. It is very shocking. Biden, dumb on guns. I know, so shocking. But let's see what he says.
Made it harder for people to buy stabilized bracelets. Put a pistol on a brace, it turns into a gun. Makes it more, you can have a higher caliber weapon, a higher caliber bullet coming out of that gun. Made it harder for people to buy stabilized bracelets. Put a pistol on a brace, it turns into a gun. Makes it more, you can have a higher caliber weapon, a higher caliber bullet coming out of that gun. Made it harder for people to buy.
Yeah, so that's inaccurate. I know it's shocking to hear, but yeah, a bracer doesn't make it so you can have a higher caliber gun or whatever he fucking says. Bracer. But a pistol, put a pistol on a brace turns it into a gun. You can have a high caliber gun, high caliber bullet. It's not accurate at all, Joe. I know. Sorry, just cleaning this ear thing. I know it's shocking. Biden doesn't know what he's talking about when he talks about guns. I know, very shocking. But yeah, So apparently, if you put a bracer on a gun, you have a high caliber weapon, high caliber bullet coming out of that gun. No, look, for those who don't know, this is a bracer on a pistol. Okay, so this is a regular pistol. A bracer just ends up like putting into your arms. Now there are AR platforms that do pistol rounds, like an AR pistol. Okay, and let's see. I guess I'll just use this. So, a regular gun is like this, okay? Regular handgun. Now, an AR pistol, it's kind of like, you can get it synced into your shoulder and everything like that. Like a regular rifle, but it shoots pistol rounds. So it shoots 9, 45, etc. So pistol bracer, all it is basically a stock. Just a stock that you can push against your shoulder, right? Okay. Yeah. So yeah, basically it's a stock for a handgun. So that's what I keep that's what I think when I see it, at least. Yes. Oh, okay. No, never mind. Okay. So yeah, all it looks like it's doing. I don't have an AR pistol, so I don't fucking know. All it does is it just wraps around your arm. Hold on. Hold on. Sorry. It always looks like a fucking stock to me. So I was incorrect. Sorry. But yeah, this is what it basically does. It wraps around your arm, it looks like. Like there's a little Velcro ring. You wrap it around your arm. Makes it easier to shoot one-handed. I mean, the thing says explain, but it doesn't really explain a bracer. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, so it just makes it easier to fire it one-handed. So it looks like, it's on the end of a stock, and it wraps around your arm, and it just makes it more stable so you can fire one-handed more easily. So it looks like to me, I guess. See, Joe, that took me 5 minutes, and I could, educate myself on something like this. I didn't talk out of my ass. Well, I did for a second, and then I double checked. But yeah, so it just wraps around your arm and just makes it easier. So it doesn't change the caliber, Joe. It doesn't change the caliber. You fucking idiot. This is why Biden, first off, and honestly, any gun person, every time Biden says anything about guns, they're just inside their head doing that. Just fucking hell, dude. But that's our president, people. He can't take 5 minutes. He can't take the 2 minutes it take him to research to understand what it is, and just talks out of his ass. Look, I did the 2-minute research, and now I no longer can talk out of my ass about a pistol bracer. I never owned one, so I have no fucking clue. All right. Just funny as all. So up next, watch a very short clip. Apparently, a fight nearly broke out on the Senate floor between Senator Mullen and Teamster O'Brien. So let's check this out.
Like he's self-made. Sir, I wish he was in the truck with me when I was building my plumbing company. Myself and my wife was running the office because I sure remember working pretty hard and long hours. Pretends like he's self-made. What a clown. Fraud. Always has been, always will be. Quit the tough guy act in these Senate hearings. You know where to find me. Any place, anytime, cowboy. Sir, this is a time, this is a place. going around your mouth.
Oh, sorry. Hold on. The senator wants to bring back dueling. He's like, I got my pistols. I challenge you to fisticuffs.
Adults, we can finish it here.
Okay, that's fine. Perfect.
You want to do it now?
I'd love to do it right now.
Well, stand your butt up then.
You stand your butt up.
Oh, hold on.
Big
Oh,
guy.
stop it.
And then he does it. But here's the thing. He's like, you stand your butt up. And then, so the guy stands up. The senator stands up. And the Teamster guy doesn't. So Teamster guy continues to be all talk. And then there's Bernie, fucking old man Bernie. Hold on.
Revolutionary Poland. No, sit down. Sit down. Okay. You're a United States Senator. Sit down.
You're not, see?
Sit
Oh,
down.
wait. Maybe he did sit. Maybe he did stand up.
Hold it. If we can, no, I have the mic.
I'm
sorry.
very terrified.
You'll have your time.
Okay.
Can I respond?
Oh, no, you can't. This is a hearing.
So, anyways, that's what happened. Also, man, Bernie Sanders just projects that authority, right? Hold on. What the hell? All right, so let's look at some articles. So basically, what it seemed like is O'Brien insulted Mullen, and Mullen took offense to that and challenged him to a duel. And then Bernie Sanders had to interrupt it. We could have gotten the best Senate hearing of all times. And Bernie Sanders, of course, like everything, had to ruin it. So let's read this article. Senator Mark Wayne Mullen. What the fuck kind of name is Mark Wayne? All right. Mullen is not ashamed of his challenge to fight a union boss during a Senate hearing Tuesday. Instead, the Oklahoma Republican is defending his behavior and actively suggesting that threats of violence have a special place in American history that should be revived. An interview with CNN's Dana Bash on Wednesday, Mullen, a former professional MMA fighter. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, that's how he's a former professional MMA fighter. And he was down to fight this dude, O'Brien. Dude, okay, look. Senator Mullen, I say this. All right, let's make it official. Let's make some money on it. Let's set up a fight between you and Teamster O'Brien. Let's set up a fight. Just like, the YouTubers that class, and we'll set up a fight and we'll all watch it. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. So Senator Mullen, just, use that, all that money you get from being a senator, and set up a fight between you and O'Brien. Get yourselves in the ring. Let's fight. Come on, do it. Do it. I will watch that fight. Okay. Said a return to physical violence could help to cure what he derided as a culture of keyboard warriors who go out there and run their mouth all the time and don't ever have to face consequences. That's true. Mullen's macho feud is with Sean O'Brien, general president of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters. The two tangled verbally at a previous hearings where Mullen criticized unions trying to infiltrate his plumbing business. O'Brien later insulted Mullen on Twitter, referencing his height and suggesting he was ready for a fight with Mullen. To the criticism that a senator should not resort to violent threats, Mullen said, I'm a guy from Oklahoma first. There's consequences for doing some of this. He told Bash he was ready to fight O'Brien in this Senate hearing room Tuesday when she noted the camera showed him taking off his wedding ring. The first thing I thought of when I stood up, I thought, I'm going to break my hand on this guy's face. I'm going to take my wedding ring off. It's very smart. That hurt. Bash asked how Mullen expects his 6 children to view all this, to which he argued, you're responsible for your words. I'm not somebody that's going to say we go around and fight all the time. I got paid to fight, he said. But I will say that every now and then you do and should be taught a lesson. The Andrew Jackson excuse. He wants to duel. Mullen pointed to a bloody U.S. history to justify the threat of violence today, noting that many duels of President Andrew Jackson. These are, in hindsight, ridiculous affairs. Before he was president, Jackson once engaged in a duel with a lawyer named Charles Dickinson after a disagreement over horse racing debts, according to a Library of Congress account. Jackson, who was shot in a duel, broke the rules of dueling, code duel, by recocking his pistol before he killed Dickinson. Bastion note accurately that Jackson was not a good guy. It doesn't matter. Reaching for another point, Mullen said that Abraham Lincoln challenged a guy to a sword fight. The reverse appears to be true. According to an account, a man challenged Lincoln, who was then a young lawyer, under the weird rules of dueling at the time. Lincoln chose the weapon, opted for swords because he didn't want to get shot. The duel didn't happen as men called truce at the last minute. Lincoln was later ashamed of the events, according to the American Battlefield Trust. Both Lincoln's near duel and at least one of Jackson's had to do with insults against their wives. Both Lincoln near the taunting of Jackson's wife, Rachel, had to do with her unhappy first marriage and whispers about whether she was actually divorced when she married Jackson. He blamed the political mudslinging for her death in 1828, just before he took office. All right, I'm not going to continue reading this. It's just going through the history. Oh yeah, duels used to be a very common thing. I'm really upset. I really wish I could have watched it. I wish they really did fight. That'd been hilarious to watch. But hey, you know, I got to give the senator props. All right. All right, so here's something else. Another article on this whole thing. This is from AP News. As Mullen persisted, O'Brien retorted, "You challenged me to a cage fight, acting like a 12-year-old schoolyard bully." No, that's not really accurate. It's not really accurate. He challenged him. It wasn't acting like a 12-year-old bully. He was acting like a dude who you've insulted. And he's taking offense to that. And he's telling you, put your money. And first off, technically, you threw the gauntlet down first. You kind of challenged him to a fight, according to the tweets that you did. I think. Okay, so yeah, he says this outright. In another social media post, which Mullen read out loud at Tuesday's hearing, O'Brien appeared to challenge Mullen to a fight. "You know where to find me, any place, anytime, cowboy." So, and then he says, "You want this is the place, asking if we want to do it right now. I'd love to do it right now." "Well, stand your butt up then." You stand your butt up." He actually, as far as I can see, Mullen did stand up and O'Brien didn't. So he probably pissed his pants. Oh, Mullen at one point suggested they fight for charity at an event next spring, repeating an offer he made earlier this year on social media. O'Brien declined because he's a bitch. That's hilarious. All right. So yeah, no, look, Mullen kind of just proved that what he said about O'Brien is correct. O'Brien's a bitch. He's a keyboard warrior. He sits behind his keyboard and throw insults, and when challenged, he runs and hides. And that's what he did. He ran and he hid. O'Brien's like, "No, let's get coffee instead. I don't want to fight. I'd love to." Talks all tough on the Senate floor where he knew there wasn't going to be a fight on the Senate floor no matter what happened. Or he had at least a strong belief there wasn't going to be a fight. But I bet he pissed his pants the second Mullen stood up and and took off his wedding ring and probably thanked to God when Bernie was like, "Hold on, you're a senator." I'm surprised Bernie didn't fucking have a heart attack with all the activity going on there. All right. That was hilarious. I would have loved to see a fight. Oh, I'm so upset. Damn you, Bernie. We could have gotten a great fight. That would have been hilarious. But yeah, the senator is right. Senator Mullen's my favorite senator so far. 2024 president. Or 2028 president. But there is that culture where people run their mouths, they don't have any fear of consequences, so they do it. And then when someone challenges them to, defend their stances, in a physical altercation, they run and hide. O'Brien ran and hide. Let's keep it a stack, all right? That's hilarious. Oh, I love it. I really wish that fight happened. That'd been funny as fuck. O'Brien would have gotten his ass kicked, let's be honest. And you see that a lot now. Like Myron Gaines from Fresh and Fit, he is adamant about fighting some of his detractors like Abba and Preach and various others, because they make clips and they're keyboard warriors, and then when they actually get challenged to a fight, they run and hide. So this is what you gotta deal with. Funny as fuck, though. Let's be honest, funny as hell. All right, let's move on. So this is the clip here on the apparent ghost buses buses with FBI informants dressed up as Trump supporters. Let's see what's going on here.
Director Ray. Last year, you might recall, sir, our exchange regarding the FBI's involvement on January 6th and prior. I'm happy to jog your memory to quote, according to the record, I asked you, did you have confidential human sources dressed as Trump supporters positioned inside the Capitol on January 6th prior to the doors being opened? You responded, I quote, again, I have to be very careful of what I say. To which I said, it should be a no. Can you not tell the American people no? We did not have confidential human sources dressed as Trump supporters positioned inside the Capitol on January 6th. A year has passed. We sit here again a year later, we the people still do not have a definitive answer from you or anyone else in the Biden administration regarding the FBI presence and participation in the months leading up to the November election and in the weeks and days prior to January 6th and on January 6th here in D.C. We can't get a straight answer, although we have a tremendous amount of evidence harvested and reviewed over the course of the last year, which you will see. In September, Stephen D'Artano, formerly in charge of the FBI's field office in Washington, D.C., testified to the House Judiciary Committee that he was aware the FBI informants would attend the Stop the Steal rally thrown on January 6th. You confirmed that the FBI had confidential human sources at the Stop the Steal rally on January 6th here in D.C., sir?
Congressman, as we've discussed before, I'm not going to get into where we have or have not used confidential human sources. But what I can tell you,
on.
You asked for a definitive
We'll move
answer.
on. It's my time. You said no, you're not going to answer. That's cool. We're watching.
Mr. Chairman, may I answer the
The
question?
moment will come. This is my time. Earlier this year, an FBI informant who is reported to have, quote, his quote, under oath, marched to the U.S. Capitol with fellow Proud Boys members on January 6th, close quote. He said he was communicating with his FBI handler while people were entering the U.S. Capitol. Can you confirm that the FBI had that sort of engagement with your own agents embedded into the crowd on January 6th?
If you are asking whether the violence at the Capitol on January 6th was part of some operation orchestrated by FBI sources and or agents, the answer is emphatically
You're saying
not.
no?
No.
You're saying no?
Not
Okay.
violence orchestrated by
Let's move
FBI
on.
sources or agents.
Are you familiar with you know what a ghost vehicle is? Director of the FBI certainly should. You know what a ghost bus is?
A ghost bus?
Ghost bus.
I'm not sure I've used that term before.
Okay. Well, it's pretty common in law enforcement. It's a vehicle that's used for secret purposes. It's painted over. These two buses in the middle here, they were the first to arrive at Union Station on January 6th, 0500. I have all this evidence. I'm showing you a tip of this iceberg.
Mr. Chairman,
These two buses
Mr.
are
Chairman,
painted completely white.
point of order.
Point of order. Sure.
Just run over the time.
I understand, but you'll recall that Ms. Jackson Lee's been allowed to go 2 minutes before. I've been very fair in letting people finish their questioning throughout my tenure as chairman, and I'll continue to be fair on that regard. But I will make a note to the members, if you could stay as close within your time as possible. We have a lot of people that want to ask these gentlemen questions. So with that, the gentleman yields. But your point, I've been very fair in this, Mr. Ivy, with everybody on this side of the aisle just as much.
I don't think I accuse you of being unfair, Mr. Chairman.
You're making a point. Okay, thank you. I now recognize Mr.
May I
Riot.
close this statement,
No,
Mr.
no,
Chairman?
I think your time is expired. Mr.
I note that other members across the aisle have been granted time, and I object to my question being closed. This is a very significant hearing, Mr. Chairman, and these buses are nefarious in nature and were filled with FBI informants dressed as Trump supporters and deployed onto our Capitol on January 6th. Your day is coming, Mr. Ray.
Mr. Higgins.
Dude, why let the guy continue? Like, I hate this whole like, oh, your time's expired to crap. Look, these people waste time all the fucking time. All right, at least have some wait. You know, you get like these fucking senators that like, yammer on about nonsense. This guy's asking some legitimate fucking questions, and keep these fucking Teamster fuckers, or this FBI director. Look, he's a director. He doesn't have anything better to do. Let's be honest. He sits around. He doesn't do much. All right, especially at least this FBI director for sure doesn't do shit. So just fucking let the guy ask the questions. He seems to be getting through some actual like interesting, important shit, and then you cut him off as he's confronting this dude. But what can you do? Shout out to Senator Higgins. He seems to be really going after Director Ray and confronting him on the issues. He's not even letting him waste his time with. All right, you're not going to answer. Let's move on. All right. And then, whoever, point of order dude was scared shitless. He's like, oh, fuck. Like, look, this is very important. You got people, quote unquote, January 6th insurrectionists who are in jail for, nothing more than basically trespassing misdemeanor and serving long sentences. And, if we had FBI informants dressed as Trump supporters, it raises some questions. Was any of the violence really, was it started by the actual true supporters, or was it instigated by FBI informants? Okay. I know that sounds a little conspiratorial. If you don't remember that the whole, what's her name? The Governor Whitmer in Michigan. Most of the fuckers that were the good port, and most of the quote unquote kidnappers, a lot of them were FBI informants, or someone that was an FBI informant that really started most of it. If you really actually looked into it, you realize that. So it's not a huge stretch. All right, we finish that now. Apparently, according to FBI Director Ray, not in my lane. FBI Director Ray says terror suspects crossing U.S. border is not his problem. Can't really speak to, that issue, Ray responded. It's not in my lane. Okay, dude. It's not in your lane, really. I think out of anything, like, look, when they're at the border, probably ISIS, yeah. But once they cross the border and they're terrorist suspects, probably FBI. I'm just saying. During a House subcommittee hearing on Wednesday, FBI Director Christopher Wray said he couldn't speak to the sharp increase of individuals on the terror watch list crossing the border. Why do you think in the 4 years before this, there were only 11? Asked House Homeland Security Subcommittee on Counterterrorism Law Enforcement Intelligence Committee member Mark Green. And suddenly, there are 294 in the past few years. Why do you think that is? Can't really speak to that, that issue. Ray responded, it's not in my lane. I can tell you that the threats that come from the other side of the border are very much consuming all 56 of our field office, not just in the border states. Between port of entries, 172 individuals on terrorist watch list crossed the border into the U.S. illegally in fiscal year 2023. In 2022 fiscal year, that number was 98. In 2021, the first full fiscal year under the Biden administration, 16 were captured. In fiscal 2024, which began in October 13, people have been captured attempting to enter the U.S. illegally through the northern or southern border. Along the southern border alone, a record of 2,475,699 people were encountered crossing into the U.S. illegally in 2023. The first month of the fiscal year is already up from the 2023 fiscal year number, with 240,988 encounters in October 2023 compared to 231,529 in October 2022. So yeah, according to the FBI director, it's not in his lane. It's outside his lane. Okay. He's going to do, terror suspects crossing the border, not in his lane, not his problem. What the fuck? Like, seriously, what the fuck, dude? How is that not in your lane? Okay. Like, out of anything, FBI is supposed to deal with domestic issues. This is a domestic issue. Just because they're crossing the border, ICE is supposed to deal with them at the border. But once they're inside, that's all you, buddy. Not in your lane. What the fuck is this? All right. Retarded. So Vivek is Ramaswamy steps up Ron McDaniel's feud by launching a resignation petition. Now, if you guys don't remember, during the debate, Vivek said, called out the RNC, Republican National Convention Chair, Rowena McDaniel, and called for a resignation, or at least called for an apology over some of the things she oversaw. I think it was the COVID stuff and some other stuff. I can't remember everything. GOP President hopeful Vivek Ramaswamy launched a petition Wednesday calling for the resignation of Republican National Committee Chair Ronna McDaniel, with the biotech entrepreneur ripping the longtime party chief as a losing leader. The petition, hosted at fireronna.com, comes 1 week after long shot 2024 candidate first demanded McDaniel step down from the stage at the third GOP debate in Miami. I'm sick and tired of this Republican establishment has made us a party of losers. Where's the accountability for years of losing? 2018, 2020, 2022, and now 2023, Ramaswamy said in a statement. On the debate stage, I called on Ronna McDaniel to resign. Now I'm asking grassroots conservatives across the nation to join me so she can feel the power of the people. It's time to stop the culture of surrender and losing. Resign, Ronna. RNC spokesperson Emma Vong was quick to fire back. The RNC is focused on firing Joe Biden. If the Republicans want to help with that, visit bankyourvote.com. Vong knows. All right. Ramaswamy, 38, used similar language in his opening remarks on the November 8th debate, one day after another round of disappointing elections result in the GOP, saying the Republican Party is a party of losers. McDaniel is responsible. And that McDaniel is responsible. The RNC boss shot back at the multimillionaire November 9th, alleging Ramaswamy just wants attention. He's at 4%. He needs a headline, McDaniel told Fox Business Network Stuart Vonner. The RNC does not do state races. We handle federal committees, so we weren't involved in those races on Tuesday. Several RNC members have come out in support of McDaniel since the spat with Ramaswamy began. I'm not reading all these fucking names. All right. Ramaswamy first criticized the RNC after he was banned from debating 2024 rival Chris Christie on Fox News, despite him having signed a pledge to not engage in any non-RNC sponsored debates. The biotech mogul told the Post at the time he was afraid that the RNC was continuing to silence him throughout the election cycle, and also floated that he would not show up for following debates. He ultimately decided to attend a third debate, but his spokesperson maintained the forum were not terribly useful. Following the second GOP debate in September, Ramaswamy sent a memo to the RNC calling for some debate rules to revise so Americans can focus on serious candidates capable of beating President Biden. Proposed amendments include raising the minimum donors threshold from 70,000 to 100,000, reducing the amount of qualified candidates to the top floor, excluding former Donald Trump, who has skipped every debate. He also called for a single monitor to handle the candidates and for the contenders to have more time to speak. Ramaswamy's suggestions were not implemented. He then complained about the RNC partnering with NBC News for the Miami showdown and their choice of moderators. NBC Nightly News anchor Lester Holt, Meet the Press monitor Christine Welker, and radio host Hugh Hewitt. Think about who's monitoring this debate, he said in his opening remarks. This should be Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, Elon Musk. We have 10 times viewership asking questions the GOP primaries actually care about. Bring more people into our party. It's not wrong about that. Look, the RNC is just stuck in the old ways. And this is what, they don't. Vec has a very good understanding on how things are now. And he should be taken seriously in these matters. He's not, unfortunately. Fucking great. Raising the minimum donor age or donors, whatever, to a certain number. Yeah, why are we doing mainstream media? No one trusts the mainstream media anymore. We should be doing it, with various other platforms like X with Elon Musk, even though it's not like a bastion of free speech as we think. Rumble would be even a better one. That's what he should really push for, was Rumble. Ridiculous. All right. Sorry, just looking up the poll. Apparently, according to a poll, Ramaswamy was still 4%. Nikki Haley somehow went up to 12%. I don't understand that at all. Nikki Haley was terrible. And then she made her comments like I talked about yesterday.
Have to do this if we're going to win in 2020.
All right. Well, I'll show you a Republican who did not flip the seat. That was Daniel Cameron in Kentucky. And one of the reasons.
Speaking of polls, Fox News poll support for Donald Trump hits 62%.
I was raped by my stepfather after years of sexual abuse. I was 12.
Job performance.
Anyone who believes there should be no exceptions for rape and incest could never understand what it's like to stand in my shoes.
While the 2024 election looks
Daniel Cameron
still looks most likely nail biter, two primary contests are currently blowouts.
Say that Republicans are the party that's going to restrict your right to an abortion.
Former President Donald Trump leads the GOP nomination race with a backing of a record of 62% of Republican primary voters in the new Fox News survey, translates to roughly 50-point gap between Trump and Ron DeSantis, 14, Nikki Haley, 11, Vivek, 7, Chris Christie, 3, and Asha Hutchinson, 1. Even further. It blows my mind Nikki Haley's still ahead of Vivek. Like, Vivek
post-Roe, we need to come to consensus. We should have the exceptions for rape, life, and incest, but we should also have humane, common sense limitations. That when a baby feels pain, when a baby can actually feel its life being taken from them, that should be a consensus we should have. And Democrats won't meet
Senator
me there.
Tim Scott
They're on the extreme on this.
Campaign
We're willing to come to a consensus.
Mid-survey,
So that was
the
the
3% he
15-week law
received
that Glenn
was
Young had-
reallocated to support a
But
second
that was
choice
the
candidate.
15-week law that Glenn
For the
Young was
reallocation,
trying to get
DeSantis was
the,
13%
Senate
and
flipped on
Haley
and hold on to
10%.
the House
In addition
and
to Scott,
pass the
others
vote.
exit since October
applaud
Fox
Glenn
News
Young
survey
for doing
include
that,
Larry
but
Elder,
if you're
Will
outside
Hurd,
9 to 1,
Johnson.
people aren't getting that message.
But
So
these
you can't say
departures
this
failed
is where
to
we
change
are
the
and not
race,
spend
giving
money
how little
behind it.
back
So the
they had.
candidates need to get on TV and say Riot.
No bang.
And I would say this is
Among
where I stand.
Democratic primary voters, President Joe Biden leads with 72%, well ahead of Aaron Williamson and newly announced Minnesota
What the
Rep.
Democrats are doing is they're flooding the
Phillips.
airwaves with lies
Yet,
about Republicans.
72%. Man, Democrats really.
And Republican consultants,
I guess
RNC,
that
have
really
got to
just
tell their
shows you
candidates, we've got to go
how
on
much
TV
shit the other
and inoculate
candidates
this message. And then we can talk about crime, the border,
Yet
fentanyl,
Biden's job
inflation,
performance
energy
rating stands
independence,
at
all the things
40% approval,
Democrats can't win on.
So here's the
59%
part where I
disapproval.
forget you
That
gave me
matches
a
his record
Go
low
for
from
it.
Some
July
Republicans
2020.
are pointing the
More than
finger at
twice
you.
as
One
many
of them, not
strongly
surprisingly, Vivek
disapproved,
Ramaswamy. Here's
43,
what he
and
said.
strongly approved, 17. Last month,
Let's speak the
41
truth.
approved,
I mean, since
58
Ronna McDaniel
disapproved.
took over as chairwoman
Disapproval
of the
of
RNC in
Biden
2015,
is at
we
an
lost
all-time high among
2018,
men,
2020,
63%. Voters under
2022, no red wave
age
that never
45,
came. We got
62%.
trounced last
Hispanic
night
voters,
in
60%.
2023.
God
And I think that we have to
damn.
have accountability in our
Voters
party.
with college
For that matter,
degrees,
Ron, if you want to come on
57%.
stage tonight,
And
you want
black
to look
voters,
the GOP
41%.
voters
Come on, black
in the
voters.
eye and tell them
Come
you
on.
resign.
You know you don't like
Right,
Biden.
so
You
that's
know you
expected,
don't
I
like
think, to some
Biden.
degree from Ramaswamy.
Most of
But
these
now we're also hearing rumblings that maybe
groups
Donald
are key
Trump
to
may
his
be
re-election,
out
yet
too.
they may
Oh,
be
I'm not
open
hearing
to
that.
alternatives.
Listen,
Just look at
I would say this
Haley's
to
and road
Vivek.
below.
You know, I understand that you want to
Biden's
keep me on.
rates spell
I'm focused on
electoral
taking on
trouble
Joe
as he
Biden.
currently
Joe
behind the
Biden's ruining this
Republican in
country.
each
Joe Biden's
matched up
destroying
test.
lives for millions of
Trump
Americans.
50,
They're living
46%,
paycheck to paycheck.
DeSantis
We're
50,
going into
45%,
Thanksgiving. So I'm
has
focusing on
have
taking on Joe Biden.
statistically
And by the
insignificant
way,
4 and 5
Republicans are
point
really sick of
advantages
this
over
infighting.
Biden.
We just
Last
saw it
month,
with the speaker's race.
Biden was
They
up
are
by
so
1
sick of us hitting
point
each
over
other
Trump and
and now
trailed
focusing
DeSantis
on
by
the
2,
issues and
just 2.
taking on the Democrats because that's a losing
Meanwhile,
strategy.
Haley
Fight
has
each other.
11-point
I'm
lead
going to
against
take the high
Biden,
road and
52-41,
focus on
and
keeping Joe
an
Biden.
improvement
No more
on her
infighting. It should
4-point
be more fighting like
edge last
Mark
month.
Wayne Mullen and
Haley's margin against
Teamsters.
Biden is
Yeah,
better
right?
than
I don't know
Trump's
if I can do that. I don't think I can have taken
groups
that guy.
Democrats need to
I
hold
watched
the
that
White House.
entire
Women,
exchange and thought,
voters
wow.
under age 30, and
Well,
those
put it this way, Brian
65
better
and
not get in the
over,
ring with Mullen.
independents,
I know, I
college
wouldn't do that
graduate,
either.
moderate,
Five-time
suburban women.
MMA
I think I
champion.
bet
She
on Mullen
leads
for that
Biden
one.
among
That would
independents
not
by
end
43
well.
compared
Ronna, great to
to
see you.
Trump's
Thank you
6
much.
point
Thanks for
Thank
having me.
advantage.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Among
Appreciate
the college graduates, Biden's 5-point edge over Trump becomes an 8-point deficiency against Haley. All right, to be fair, all this is like from October. This is an October survey, so I guess they didn't really take into account the November one, like the November GOP debate. Let's see. None of our previous data has shown electable edge on either side, says Republican Darren Shaw, who conducted the FBI survey with Democratic Chris Anderson. But in this poll, at this time, Haley can make a case she has the best petition to win back the White House. No. The question for Haley remains whether she has enough to move her out of third place in the nomination race. One notable note for Trump, he hits 50% against Biden, which he previously never done in a Fox News survey going back to October 2015. Plus, Trump receives record support among groups Biden needs to win re-election compared to the final news pre-election matchup in October 2020. Trump has made gains among independents up 21 points, blacks 15, Hispanics 13, suburban voters 8, men 4. Despite Biden's low approval, other Democrats tested in head-to-head matches against Trump don't really do any better, at most improving on the president's marks by a couple points. And Trump's advantage is a survey marginal of sampling error in hypothetical ballots. Gets Kamala Harris, Trump +5, Newsom +4, Whitmer +2, Manchin +1. This is the first time the poll offers potentially 5-way presidential ballots and finds that while third-party candidates receive substantial support, they hurt Biden and Trump about equally. Biden garners 35 to Trump's 41, while independent candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. takes 15. Independent candidate Cornel West and Green Party candidate Jill Stein get 3% each. The race looks like the same when Manchin is included instead of West. In that scenario, it's 35, Biden 35, Trump 40, Kennedy 13, Manchin 5, Stein 4. In both cases, 76% of Democrats back Biden and 78% of Republicans support Trump. While most people have understandably been focused on how third-party options affect the major party candidates, the level of support itself is notable. More than one voter in 5 is currently going rogue. More than for Ross Perot, 92, John Anderson, 98, John Anderson in 80, George Walsh in 68. It's a clear indictment that with the leading Republican Democratic poll candidates. Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm almost done with this. Uh, 39% of voters say they were more likely to participate in the Democratic primary caucus in their state next year. 45 say the Republican primary. That 6-point gap in the widest seen all year. Trump's personal favorability rating is underwater by 12 points, 44% favorable versus 56 unfavorable. Still, he has the most positive that's his most positive in over a year. Biden's is in negative territory by a even larger 18.4159. That's unchanged since September. Voters are unfavorable with unfavorable views of both Biden and Trump. Split their support 40 versus Trump 43. More Republicans 64% than Democrats 69 say they are extremely interested in the 2024 presidential election, which makes sense because the only action is on the GOP side with the primary races. When extremely and very are combined equal numbers of Republican 84 and Democrats 83 are interested. Vice President Kamala Harris gets her worst marks yet at 38 approval, 459 disapproval of doing the job she's doing. That's hilarious. So there you go. So it looks like Trump's doing well in the polls. It's not surprising. Like I said before, the reason Trump's doing so goddamn well is because we've gotten a look, a year of 4 years of Trump and 4 years of Biden, and everyone can really agree that they did better under Trump than they did under Biden, and that's what's going on. So it's not a big surprise. All right, that's all I got for you guys today. I'm gonna go work out and sleep. Exhausted. I hope you all have a good day. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like and subscribe. Give me a follow, and check me out on X at official W Ghost, and then follow me on Rumble, both my Rumbles. Maybe sometime this weekend I'll be playing a game. I don't know. I hope you all have a good day. Peace out. See you later.